PRT, we belong to you.
Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Robert Matheson, and later in the episode, my guest will be Devin Basart, who plays Shrek in Shrek the Musical and Barfee in the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. For our second episode, we are really trudging along with the first show is up. The first show, Putnam, is already up. We have had a couple performances. The show has been doing very well. If you have tickets yet, please do so. For more information, call the box office at 605-688-6045. And I cannot stress you, this is a hilarious show. It is incredibly well done, well written, and well performed, and just hilarious. But all the areas are now working very hard to get the next show, Making God Laugh, which will be next week. My second guest for our second episode is none other than my PRT buddy of 2 years ago.
Yes.
Devin Basart.
Hello.
First off, before we get started, I have to ask, had I not bothered you, what would you be doing right now?
I would be putting bias tape on a costume.
And could you say what costume it's for?
What was it? It was the Lord Farquaad guards. Their tabards.
Oh, man. And we will talk more about Shrek when we get down. But first, let's start from the beginning.
Indeed.
Where were you born?
I was born in Sioux Falls, when it used to be Sioux Valley before Sanford.
I remember that.
I know.
Good times. So, do you have any siblings at all?
Nope, I am the only child. My parents did ask if I wanted to have brothers or sisters, and then I kind of looked at them and said, I'm good. I figured this out.
Only child.
Only child. I have everything. Why would I want someone else?
All of the attention.
Of course.
So, in that case then, where did you get your first... When did that theater bug show up? Not necessarily bite. Do you remember when you were first exposed to theater? Or, like, relatively?
Whoa. I was going to say, I've always been performing ever since I came out of my mother's womb, basically. I came out with tap shoes on. Because I always used to, like, do shows and perform and stuff in my living room and on our deck out when I used to live in Brandon a long time ago.
Did you sing theme songs or show tunes?
No, I just basically danced to music, whatever I had at the time. Let's see, what else did I do? I think my first theater show professional show I saw was Cats. And then...
As a kid, what are you thinking when you see Cats?
I still like it. Guilty pleasure. What was the other thing I saw? Also, my aunt... one time, or I think it was like, I don't know, birthday or Christmas, I can't remember, she bought me Lord of the VHS tapes, by the way. This is VHS tape still.
Way back when?
Way back. I had Lord of the Dance and Riverdance VHS tapes that I watched a lot. What else did I watch a lot that was a performance-y thing? Oh! It was a Christian... I didn't know it was Christian at the time. All I cared was there was music and there was dancing. That's all I cared about. But it was this Christian dance group, and the show was called The Masterpiece. It was really kooky. It was like a toy maker and his dreams and blah, blah, blah. And I watched it recently. I found it on YouTube finally after like 20 years. I'm like, what is this thing called? And then I found it and I watched it. I'm like, oh, it's an allegory. I didn't know this was Christian.
Did it hold up after all these years?
It was a really bad recording.
So, you've always wanted to perform. You've always performed. Do you remember your first performance? Official stage of performance?
I do. That was when I was back in the Julie Briggs dance studio. I believe it would have been my lovely Julie Briggs dance studio, dance performances.
And how was doing theater in school? Did you get enough parts? Or
In school, not as much. I know the one time I would have had my only high school musical, because we were supposed to rotate every other year, and so we should have had 2 musicals, but because they were still a little behind on one of the musicals they did, we only got one in my rotation, which was Fiddler on the Roof, and I had the choice of doing that in February, or going to Miami for National ACDA Honor Choir during spring break. I wonder what I chose.
We may never know.
I know. I do.
So, I want to know, were your parents very supportive of you being in theater?
Very much so. They kind of found out from the get-go I was not a sports child. I tried t-ball one summer. I left my mitt or glove or whatever you call it. See, I don't even know how to call it. I left it at the diamond.
It's a weapon.
It was like a political statement. I was like, I don't like this. And so thus, I went into performing into the theater and dance world. And they are still supportive today.
So you graduated high school.
Yes.
Where did you go to college?
I first went to USD for 3 years, and then I transferred to Minnesota State University, Mankato. And I did finish my graduated there this past December with a BFA.
Now, without going into too much detail, could you compare or contrast USD and Mankato's theater departments?
There's a big difference. I did like the students and stuff at USD. I did miss them, and also my one choir that I was in at USD. Because once I got to Mankato, it was pretty much from the get-go, okay, audition on the first day of school, and we do 10 shows a year. All the time. It's like 10, 11 shows a year. Boom, 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 boom. Right after another. And I had no time to do choir when I was in Mankato, and that made me very sad. But I know Mankato is one of the top theater colleges in the Midwest right now for theater. I know, I mean, there's also Michigan too, but I know near us, it's Mankato is one of them.
So what would you say going into Mankato then? What would you say if you could pick one performance there that you did that basically made you say, I am so glad I made it to Mankato?
Oh.
Basically, in a nutshell, favorite performance at Mankato, or toughest, or least favorite, or somewhere in the middle.
I'd have to say my least favorite would have been Legally Blonde. I first, initially, when I was at USD, actually, my roommate and I decided, because we were part of the student theater group there, and we decided originally we wanted to do Legally Blonde for a student production, but we're like, that's going to be really spendy. And we don't.
I can occur.
We don't know if we're going to have all that stuff for that. So then we decided to do Evil Dead instead, and that was a lovely choice. But when I was finally in Legally Blonde, it was just kind of some ensemble stuff, but it was so much pink. And it was just so much.
Was the curtain pink?
No, we didn't do that. We didn't have a curtain. How the set was designed was it was supposed to be almost like a Polly Pocket kind of thing, like a Barbie house play set thing. And so all the set pieces would like show, when it showed to the audience, would have the LB for Legally Blonde. Yeah, then when they like turned around, then it would be a whole set and it would like open up and it would just be like a little playhouse thing. But that, I would have to say, was not my favorite. I got really sick and tired of the music after that show.
I'm guessing you didn't want to hear Oh My God anymore.
Oh.
That is probably my least favorite. I love the musical, but that is my least favorite song.
I know. There's some of them like... But I think my 2 favorite shows that I was a part of was my first show, which was Phantom of the Opera, and I was Ubaldo Piangi, the opera singer. I got to die. My parents don't like it when I die on stage. They always like, "Oh, do you die?" And I go, "No, I'm alive this time." And they're really happy. But that was a lot of fun. The director's like, "You die really well." I was like, "Well, thank you."
You should put that on your resume.
I die really well. That's on my resume. And then the other show that I really enjoyed and I wish we could have had more runs of was Spring Awakening.
Oh, that's such a great show.
We had a really great cast, and we sounded amazing, and people came up to us and be like, we've seen the Broadway production and the touring production how many times, but we loved your production more because we could understand what was going on.
I mean, that's important.
Because a lot of people go and they're like, I don't get the story. I just know there's nudity involved. And we're like, we don't do the nudity, but we make the story come out more than others.
Were you guys at least half naked, or?
I think we just kind of did subtle. We were subtle on that. We didn't really do any nudity, and before anything happened, we blacked out.
I mean, that's not so bad. I have a friend who told me they did Hairspray at their high school, and they didn't have any African American actors, so that'd be tricky. It's like doing Hairspray. They're pretty much. I think they were all
Hairspray and hair. Wait, you said Hairspray.
So yeah,
Hairspray.
It was pretty much just like Jets versus the Sharks, but all white.
Lovely.
So yeah, I like those changes, but from what you're telling me, it was nice and subtle.
Yeah, we kept it brief. If we did anything, we made a lot of people cry. It was a great time.
Aww. So you do that. When did you start PRT during Mankato, or was it after?
No, it was before I was Mankato, because I think it was my. Let me see. I think it was my junior year. So it would have been the summer of my 1 year. That was my transitional summer. That was my first summer of PRT. And I was in Arsenic and Old Lace as Reverend Harper and Officer O'Hara.
I remember seeing that, actually, yeah.
It was a good time. I got drunk. Drunker and drunker every performance as Officer O'Hara, drinking tea.
And how did you hear about PRT?
I had friends that were in it from USD. They were in it the year before with Thoroughly Modern Millie and Jesus Christ Superstar. And then I was at ACTF and did these summer stock auditions and got a call back which was just basically, so here's what we do. Come audition for us again. And then we're like, oh, okay. And I think that year, the first year I did come back and audition, but I had a show going on, which was Putnam at USD, that I was in.
There's the plug.
There it was. We'll get there. We're coming to it. And so my one friend and I, Brianna Watrowski, she and I had to drive back to Vermillion that day to go finish doing rehearsals and stuff for that. And then, lo and behold, here we were in the summer.
So I guess that leads me up to my next. First year at PRT, what would you say was your biggest misconception as far as, like, I did not comprehend this going in? Like, the hours, versus today.
Versus today. Well, I'm like, child's play. I think it would probably be like the work schedule. Yeah, kind of just like, it's just a bam bam all day long, wee bitty bitty bum in our little shop, or we're rehearsing.
12 hours a day.
12 hours a day, and it's also just doing like multiple shows at the same time, getting those straightened out. Which ones you're doing here, like, I'm now doing this. Okay, while I'm doing this. And now you're going to be singing here. Oh, okay.
Gotta step out real quick, and then, now I gotta do this.
Run around.
Yep, pretty much no
How do I get paid? And then you have the admin circle.
Oh, yes. It's an initiation.
They did that to me this year, too.
They did?
Yes, they gave me the runaround. Again.
So, how many years is this?
This is my third summer.
Okay. So, third summer, easier?
A little bit.
So far, I mean, we're not done yet.
No, by all means, we are not done. The only thing that would be more of this is, like, these are two bigger roles that I've ever had to handle. I mean, I was the understudy for William Barfee. At USD, so I kind of knew his lines in the music.
Did you actually portray him, though, at USD?
No. I was Dan Dad and Olive Dad, so I sang the I Love You song, which was amazing. And then the last night I was diagnosed with strep. It was great.
And we have no understudies.
I didn't have to do strike. It was the best.
Oh, you lucky dog.
Except for not feeling so hot. I had my own dressing room that night. I took a lot of naps.
So for the second summer, though, I would say, I'm guessing your biggest part was probably Cogsworth.
That was my only part.
And how was it playing him?
I loved Cogsworth. I would do that again in a heartbeat.
I guess
so much fun.
So obviously Shrek will, and we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Prior to Shrek, what Beauty and the Beast the biggest show you've done, you think? Or up there?
It would be up there. I think the biggest that I've done, I think was when I was a freshman at USD still, and I did Schmeckfest in Freeman, South Dakota. Little Freeman, I'd like to call it Brigadoon. It's just the cutest little town. They all come out in hoop skirts. They know you by like day 2. Everyone in the town. And of course, there's the 3 families: the Grapers, the Waltners, and the Hofers. It's the cutest little town. But I was the outsider.
Ooh.
That was in the show. So people are like, "Who is he?"
I like reading that in the script. Outsider.
Yeah, outsider. And I was, because they were doing Into the Woods that year, and the director / musical director worked at USD, and she's like, "Hey, I'm doing this show. You should audition." I was like, "Oh, I love that show. I want to audition really badly." And I got the part of Jack. So I got to sing Giants in the Sky, and it was a good time. But Cogsworth was up there along with that one. I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
Was it the biggest PRT show?
Biggest PRT show? Yeah. PRT show, Cogsworth, and definitely Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. I mean, Crazy for You was big, but that was just a lot of ensemble, let's play it up.
Yeah.
Have fun game. But, yeah.
So now we get to this year. And,
Yeah.
and you're working in the costume shop.
Again.
Again.
I love the costume shop.
What are you doing this year? As in acting.
Okay, so...
As if I don't know.
Okay. I am in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee as William Barfee, the role that I was understudying. So I kind of had that part ready to go when I got here. I was like, let's do it. And then I will be Shrek.
That small little independent show.
Yes, that tiny little show.
I talked about this with JD a little bit for the last episode, but for those who don't know, what is the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee? Probably our longest titled show
Ever. And it's up there with the funny thing happened on the way to the forums. Because usually you'll just say Putnam and Forum. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yes.
But the 25th, we're going to call it Putnam from now on, is about, it's just the little spelling bee in this town, and these 5 kids that are involved, and 4 audience members, because it's an audience participation show. And you just get to learn about their backstory, what they're like. They're all kooky in their own little special way, especially even the adults. They have their little quirks as well. And my character, he's kind of like the awkward bully of the group, but he's not good at it.
That's what I like about it. It's like usually when you see like a bully character, it's usually a tough, give me your lunch money punk kind of character.
Right.
You're probably the biggest nerd of the bunch.
It's like the nerdy bully. It's a weird combo because he doesn't like anybody till the end.
Till the spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, but I didn't say ooh.
That is true.
I didn't say anything.
And JD said the reason why he loved this show was because it wasn't your traditional musical setup.
No.
It's not boy meets girl, boy loses girl.
It's not the basic formula at all. I mean, there's some of it in there, but not. It's not the main focus. You have to wait for it. No, the main focus is the B with spelling.
And you guys aren't spelling. I mean, there are small words like cow, but for the most part,
we don't get those.
You get like lugubrious.
Lugubrious. Antihistamine, which to this day I'm still kind of misspelling. I'm forgetting the A. Whoops.
And memorizing. How was it memorizing the spelling?
I know when at USD when I was looking at it, it was like, oh my god, there's so many words. And I was also, since we were understudies, we would be the guest spellers. So for fun, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to look at these words in the back of the book and memorize them. So when I got called up, I would spell them correctly. And our guy playing Pontius says, Mr. Basart. Yes? Please spell lysergic acid ethylamide. Gladly. Oh! Then you try to find something else for me. But yeah, to this day, for some reason, I always miss the middle A in antihistamine for some reason. I thought I had it last night, but I apparently have missed it. Whoopsie.
I mean, you got it correct, though.
Yeah. I know one of the nights I forgot the W in my winning word because I missed the music cue. I'm like, E-L, Weltanschauung with a silent W.
Who needs a tie? Let's just give it to you.
Yeah.
So as far as that, Barfee has a certain trait, though, about him.
He
with
does.
his foot.
He has a magic foot.
And what is the magic foot?
The magic foot allows him to spell his words. He will write the letters on the floor, and then he will read them aloud. And it's right every time, because he knows the word.
He just needs that extra foot.
Little flair.
So are you the type of actor, though, to give Barfee or any other character you play a backstory? Or do you just go by what's written on the page?
Sometimes if there's not a lot for the character, I'll give them backstory. Like my lovely, lovely Moose from Crazy for You. I gave him some backstory. But, because I had to. I had like literally 4 lines in that show, and they were all really stupid. But other than that, with Barf, he kind of has a backstory written in.
Yeah, he has, and they don't really go in much detail about it, but he has a mom he likes and a mom he doesn't.
Yep, he has a fake mom and a real mom.
And what do you think that's? Do you think it's a step-parent type of thing?
I think so, yeah. There's a step-parent, and then there's a real mom. Yeah, it's like a divorce thing. And then I know he's also allergic to peanuts. He has a nut allergy. And he also has a rare mucous membrane disorder, whatever that is.
Now, what's great about this show, though, is audience members.
Yes, we don't know what we're gonna get with the audience members. That's always a hoot and a holler every time.
And they don't get the words that you guys... I mean, there are certain scripted moments...
when we have to get them out, but there are literally words, Mexican and cow, for them that we make them spell. Some of them are a little easier in the back of the book that we give them. And then when we have to get them out, gosh darn it, we will get them out.
I think the biggest surprise, though, was Blake's dad being up there, and I think the word was Kinnikinnick. And he got it right.
No, he didn't have Kinnikinnick. He had... what did we give him?
It was a super long, hard word, I remember, but he got it right.
What was it? Because I know... Did he have Caterjunes that night?
Oh, yeah, I think it was
Caterjune... there's a specific... When we get to our last audience member... Spoilers. Give them either an option of 2 words. Caterjunes or Flugaloom. Or Flugaloom, however you pronounce it. Both, when they ask for... Because they're always asked to ask for the definition and used in a sentence. And for both of those, they're like, the definition is unknown. And whatever term they are and used. And then, however they spell it, at least if they're phonetically close to it, we're like, well, I give it to them. Yay! They got it right.
And then they go back up.
And then we go back up again, and then we give them, like, xerophthalmiology. Or lysergic acid diethylamide. That one's fun, too.
And, of course, then it's not just a simple, like, all right, now go back to your seat. You give them a song.
Yes. Our comfort counselor, who is played by Jordan Wolfe, he goes up and he takes their number away, which is kind of sad. But then they give them a juice box and a hug. And then we sing to them as they go back to their seat. Favorite
ad-lib moment so far? We're now in the 3rd performance.
Yeah, we always ad-lib and play with the audience members. What would be my favorite ad-lib so far?
Either from you or from the audience member moment, or...
There's been a couple. I know there's things when when I'm out spelling my foot, I can hear behind me Schwartzy as saying, "Is that in Hebrew?" Or sometimes it's Hebrew. Sometimes she says it's in Japanese. I know there was one time that I was doing my thing, and then I can't remember at the moment, but then Marcy leans in. It's like, because she speaks 6 languages, and then she leans in. Yeah, it's definitely not English. That was funny. There was also best Schwartzy line, because she's supposed to have a lisp. during the show, and she says her one line, "I'm taking it all, you're all going down, suckers." With the lisp. She missed the lisp. We were all just cracking up. And I think also Jordan and Carter plays Leaf Coney Bear, and their little ad-lib moment when they're taking Leaf Coney Bear out, they always have different ones every night. And then I think Blake also has, who plays Panch, the vice principal Panch. When he comes back on stage with his juice box, he has a couple of ad-lib moments that have taken us aback a little bit.
I think my personal favorite is, the show is, it's probably one of the funniest shows I've seen this year.
It's so funny.
And the best part is, it's like I've seen a couple performances now, and it's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my favorite ad-lib is still, and of course no one's going to get the context of this unless you see the show, but Sadie saying to a certain character, "You look like the guy on Main Street."
Oh, yes, the Main Street line. Oh, I was going to say, are we able to say it? Or we say touchdown?
Touchdown something.
Touchdown so-and-so, who's on the end of Main Street.
Yes. If you want to know, go to Main Street.
Go to Main Street. Instead of taking a left where the bars are, go the other way. You'll know.
So was JD pretty easygoing as far as letting you guys ad-lib?
Yeah, pretty much. He said, as long as it's in character, play it up. He was totally fine with us playing around. He said, literally, there was one time before the show started, he's like, this was probably one of the easiest casts that he's worked with, because it's like, it made him feel like he wasn't working at all.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's so well cast. All of you guys are just tearing it up each night. So if you had the choice, if for some reason you didn't get cast as Barfee, but as a different character on the show, who would you want to play?
In Spelling Bee?
In Spelling Bee. Assuming, let's say, so-and-so who's currently playing that part is now playing Barfee, who would you want?
I would either do... It's kind of a toss for the rest of the male roles, except not for Panch. But either the Mitch Mahoney, who's the comfort counselor, because he has some fun wailing moments himself, and also he plays Dan Dad, which I played before, and then he's also Olive Dad, who sings the I Love You song. And I love the I Love You song. So pretty. I sang it once. It was great. And I think then it's kind of a toss-up between either Leaf, Coney Bear, just because he's just an interesting character. I love Carter. Oh, he's funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if it's more of a Leaf, or if I'd probably go more than Chip and Tolentino.
Oh, okay. And he has certain issues during the show, which we won't go into detail yet. You just have to see the show for that. But it involves a certain part of the anatomy, let's just say. Yeah. So now, Putnam's almost over, and performances have been going splendid.
Yes!
Yay!
They've been going really well. We haven't had many hiccups lately.
Just the normal hiccups.
Just some weird sound things humming.
It's
we just play into it.
The unavoidable stuff, just like, oh, okay.
We had an audience member the other night. I can't remember what it was. I think it was, because it was Blake's dad. We had some audience member yell, "Give it to him!"
Oh yeah, I remember that. And yeah, I think they ended up giving it.
Flujaloom, I think he was spelling or something like that. Yeah, or was it doing Flujaloom or Caterjunes? I can't remember.
I think it was Caterjunes, and he said G, but he said
GD something.
And then some guy.
We gave it to him, and then we had to give him the other word.
And he got it wrong.
Yeah.
So the show's almost over, and again, I can't stress enough that this is a hilarious show, and all of you guys are just tearing it up. I wouldn't change one part of casting at all. We have another show coming up.
Yes, at the end of the run.
And this is the first show. And normally the big show is the first show.
No, actually, no. They only did that the past 2 years.
Okay.
Usually you just do your smaller show first, and then the bigger show, because it's easier to transition to Brandon that way. That's usually their formula, because otherwise the costume shop is running amok.
Yeah.
And tearing. Everyone's not happy.
Yeah. Well,
no one's happy.
Yeah. I remember when the last 2 years it's been the big one to small one.
Right.
So the big one though is which everyone, of course, is excited, and of course, definitely,
So much fun.
it's in the horizon.
Shrek.
Before we talk about the rehearsals and all that, do you remember seeing the movie either on VHS or in the movie theater?
Yep, both. I remember the movie theater and when I accidentally found it as a Christmas present hiding in the pantry.
Yep.
It was on a snow day, and I was getting snacks, and then I saw it there. It happened twice with my parents.
Yep. And I remember getting it for Christmas as well. I remember because it was a VHS, but it was like
big
it
box.
was a big box.
I'm like, what is this extra inch?
It's literally just a little.
I'm like, what is this? This makes no sense.
And what did you think of the movie? Obviously, you liked it since
Oh
you
yeah,
got it for Christmas.
it was. I mean, when you were young, it was great, and then when you watch it again when you're older, so many more jokes that you understand.
Not only does it hold up, like there are certain I never got the compensating joke as a kid.
Oh no!
I was like, what's he compensating for? I don't get it. And then a few years
Da,
later,
da,
when
da, da.
you watch it
Light
later,
bulb.
I get it.
It's Kodak humor. It takes a while to develop.
Yeah. Oh man,
There's like that, but there's a lot of shows like that nowadays. Like, it's not DreamWorks, but Emperor's New Groove.
yeah.
So many sassy jokes in there. It's the best. But I totally remember watching Shrek and was like, this is great.
Yeah, and then you also got shows like Toy Story. I mean, look at
Oh,
Sid is crazy.
so many things.
Yeah, but that's what I think the best animated movies, the ones that, I mean, it's not just for a kid, it's not just for an adult, it's every
Everybody.
humor. Like it goes for everyone. Who are you playing in Shrek?
I am Shrek.
And of course, Shrek has, I want to know from your perspective, playing someone versus like Barfee, who not many people know the character unless they've seen it. This is known by millions of people.
Many people.
Many people. They either know it from,
No
of
pressure.
course, no pressure. They either know from Mike Myers, of course, but also the people who've seen the Broadway show.
Right.
William Darcy?
It was Brian Darcy James.
Brian Darcy James. So, and obviously, and thankfully, the musical is also on Netflix, too.
That just came out not too long ago. I remember when I pre-ordered that when it came out on DVD. I pre-ordered it, and then it was like not too long. It came out on Netflix. It always happens to me. Like I bought my one Cirque du Soleil DVD at Walmart, and then it was in the $5 movie bin, and it also came out on Netflix too.
So, what's it like? What's your perspective going in playing a character that is known to the public versus someone like Barfee that's not?
There's a little more pressure, because they'll be like, "You didn't sound like the character," which obviously Shrek has the wonderful kind of mock. It's kind of a weird dialect. It's more of like
It's Scottish.
It's Scottish, but it's not.
It's like broken Scottish.
Yeah, because usually Scots, they can trill their R's to Kingdom Come, but Shrek doesn't. So it's almost like a Yorkshire. I don't know what it is. It's like a mix of a lower classy Irish, Scottish. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know if you noticed, but I read an interview with Mike Myers, and he said actually, Shrek was supposed to be Canadian.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they changed it last second.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Shrek being Canadian?
Wait, well, he kind of does. You can hear
kind of
little
like a-
Canadian nuances throughout.
It's like 90s Shrek, but like a 10% little Canadian.
Mostly Scottish, weird, Irish kind of mix, and then some Canadian flubs in there.
Is it hard? Is it hard doing the voice?
It took me a little bit, but it's just a lot of listening to it, and I'm also now, if I had to, I could also do it in IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet. Thank you, Dr. Hustles, which is a lovely, that will come in handy someday when I'm doing a huge dialect show. But this one, it's just pretty much kind of listening to the videos, and also I've been watching the musical, because there's some things that you can do in a film versus on stage. making it so, because singing in a dialect, hard to do.
Yeah.
Really hard. Which you have to modify what you're doing so the audience can still understand the words you are saying.
So I want to know, when you first got the news you're going to play Shrek, do you remember your first reaction? First thought in your head?
I was really excited because I knew I didn't have to be where I was working for the past 3 months, talking to not happy people on the phone.
I'm almost hesitant to ask this question, but for those who haven't seen Shrek, which...
I was saying what it's about.
What could you, without spoiling it, I guess, what would you say is the show about?
It is about this ogre, his name is Shrek. And
green, too.
He's green, yes he is. But he's kind of... How should I say it? He's not like an average kind of scary thing. He keeps the ogre front when he has like villagers. He has to scare them off, whatever. But other than that, he's just kind of a lackadaisical guy.
He's not a people person.
No, he's not a people person. He likes his own things, but he's happy where he is at the moment. But then some events happen where he has to go, and all these fairy tale creatures are banished from this one land. Or Duloc is the land that's the exactly. But they get banished to a swamp, and all these things are now here, and he's not happy. So he goes to Duloc to go get the deed to his swamp back.
I mean, we did get the rights to Shrek.
We did get the rights to Shrek, obviously. We're doing it. And then he also bumps into this will be his friend later on, this very chatty character named Donkey. Original. It's very nice. But these two go on a quest sent by Lord Farquaad, who is I guess he's a prince, because he's not king yet, because he's not married. But they're sent on a quest to go find this princess locked in a tower, and it's guarded by a dragon, and bring back to Duloc for Lord Farquaad to be married so he can be king.
So how have rehearsals been so far?
They've been going really smoothly. We finished Act 1 blocking yesterday, and we'll be doing all of Act 1 tomorrow. And we have to be off book, which that shouldn't be that hard. I had the script back in early March or so. I came up to get some stuff ready for Shrek, getting my face made. And
I was going to ask that. Have you worn the thing at all yet?
Not in its entirety.
Is it awkward, or is it?
We'll find out. I'm not sure yet, because I know that I have a mask kind of latexy part front for my face, and then I have like a cowl, which is just a fancy costume makeup-y term for this latexy thing with a hole in the middle where my face goes. I haven't seen anything for my hands yet, but we'll get there.
Do you have an idea of luckily Shrek doesn't have any quick changes.
No, he stays in one outfit the whole show. I am happy about that.
He's not Christy or
anyone else.
Do you have an idea of how long this will take to put on you and stuff?
I would gather I might have to come in maybe like possibly maybe almost an hour before anyone else. An extra hour to get everything on. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully, because we're making things and we'll have them pre-painted already and all the makeup on it already, that it will be a little quicker. However, yeah, I think the first couple of times it's going to be a little longer to get into.
Now, with rehearsals going through, what would you say is your favorite song from Shrek?
That would have to be probably the number one favorite song from Shrek. Would have to be the Act 1 closer, Who I'd Be.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best Act 1 closers in almost all music theater history. It's up there.
Oh yeah, it's
so
such a sad but also like it's the moment you feel for him.
Uh-huh.
He's not just a big, stupid, smelly ogre.
No.
He has feelings.
He has feelings. He has dreams and things that he wants, but then he just realizes because he's an ogre, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And it's a gut-wrenching song, but it's so well done. At first, this was my first initial reaction of the musical when I first heard that this was coming out as a musical, and I was like, no way. No, this isn't going to be good at all.
I know. It's just like the idea, like...
Legally Blonde was, that was another one where I was like, this is not going to be good. And then after listening to it, I went, wow, that was...
Well, like, Disney has the advantage of, like, well, the music's there.
It's already there. Like Aladdin.
Yeah.
By the way, not so good. No me gusta. I'm not a really big fan of that.
But, oh, man, It also has its differences from the musical. I mean, obviously it's a musical versus a non-musical.
Right,
movie.
coming from a non-musical movie, turning it into a musical.
Yes, but for example, Farquaad is not... The guy playing him is not actually that short.
Well...
I mean...
He's a little short.
But he's not
that short. No. Which that is a fun little trick audience, or not an audience, little costuming trick that we have to do for that. That poor guy's knees.
Yeah, he has knee pads though.
He has to walk around on his knees the whole show, except for some small instances where he gets just.
What would you say was the hardest the costume in the costume shop that's just been like, how are we gonna make this?
Oh.
Because the biggest difference I've noticed, and I've talked to everyone about, is the biggest difference between something like Beauty and the Beast is there's a lot of clothes, even with the exception of the Beast, obviously, and the Belle costume, you can just pull.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. This one, everyone has such their
detailed
own costume
outfit. Mm-hmm.
Detailed.
Yeah, when we came into the shop this summer, we saw up on the board for Shrek all of the photos and the drawings. What's the technical term called? I can't remember. All the swatches, the fabric swatches. But we saw everything up there, and he's like, so we're building everything. We are making it. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. Because there's like a dragon. There's...
Yeah, how is the dragon costume?
We haven't started that one yet. We know the person's on stilts. We got that. We got that covered. As it's the only main outfit that I saw before the summer started was the Farquaad's outfit, which is it is the best. I love it. It's so sparkly.
So many sparkles.
There's so much. Oh, it's ridiculous. I love it.
Oh, man.
And the outfit that we're making for him now for one of his other looks. Ah!
I have to ask if this was on purpose or not, but when the production shots came out for all the shows, and of course you see Farquaad, and you see Fiona, and the characters look so great. I can't help but notice Farquaad looks a bit like a drag queen.
Yeah, pretty much.
In terms of the makeup?
Yeah.
I just want to know if that was on purpose or...
It's, we block out the eyebrows using the magic of Prozade palette, so it's like you're like Whoopi Goldberg time, you have no eyebrows, and so we paint them on, so there it's just really, but his makeup is ridiculous. It's the funniest thing ever. Oh, I love Farquaad.
Would you like to play that character ever?
Yes, I would, in a heartbeat. They'd be like, you want to play Lord Farquaad? Yes. Sign me up. I will walk on my knees around for the whole show.
Do you think you could do the Wicked note?
I can. Yes, I can. I love it.
And for those wondering, you just gotta see the show.
Yep.
You'll know what it is. You can't miss it.
You won't. Yeah, it'd be hard not to.
So if you had it your way, was there anything because there are some subtle differences between the Broadway show and this show as well. For example, there's no magic mirror and a couple other things. If you had it your way, if you could pick one thing from the Broadway show to come here, one little change, what would you want? If you for some reason were asked,
I think most of it because there's like two. I know there was two subtle differences that I noticed from the show.
From what I understand, there's no magic mirror.
Right, that scene changed.
Forever is now instead of Donkey Pot Pie.
Mm-hmm.
And Farquaad's not taking a bath
right.
Instead, it's something else, which I'm really excited.
It's gonna be hilarious, and that's the costume that's being built right now. Oh, it's funny.
And I think that's probably gonna be my favorite difference between the Broadway and
but when I saw the DVD or the whatever the Broadway production, I really enjoyed the Magic Mirror / Gingy scene.
Oh yeah.
Because now it's just all Gingy, and I'm like, oh, the Magic Mirror was so funny. Mm-hmm. That was the best bit. And then you had the pick number 3, my lord, or the one guy's like 4. There is no 4.
That's the one thing I would change. I mean, playing Thelonious, he actually has lines, which surprises me. But I do wish I could say pick number 3, my lord, or hold out number 4.
There's no 4.
But
and he had some of the original actor, Christopher Sieber, on the Broadway. He had the one, I don't know if it was ad-libbed, I'm assuming it was, when he was going through the little selection of princesses, because now you cut out all the, and here's a Snow White, and whatever.
She's
all
in a
these
Tupperware.
And yeah, she comes in Tupperware. I was like, did he just say that? That's hilarious. That was the best. I cracked up so hard when I saw that.
And the best part is Christopher Sievers, he's like 6 foot something.
Uh-huh.
He's actually one of the tallest actors amongst the group, I think.
Yeah, because Brian Darcy James was short, and they gave him like some platform boots.
And a big gut.
Big gut, which will happen to me too. I already have one, but we're just going to make it bigger. Darn it.
Shrek's coming up. If you could say one thing for the audience to, like, give them a reason to show. I mean, it's Shrek.
I mean, yeah. It's the movie you all loved and enjoyed. We just sing and dance more.
So now I have, before I let you go, I have 3 questions.
Uh-huh.
First question, if you were head of DreamWorks.
Uh-huh. This is the question I thought about before.
And you were in charge of the theater department or the musical department.
They decided.
What do you think is DreamWorks' next musical going to be? If they ever make one.
If they ever do, I know, well, they kind of did in Australia. I don't know if it's going anywhere else. I know that they did a How to Train Your Dragon arena show.
Really?
With huge dragon puppets. Huge! They are big. And they're loud. Like, the roars are loud. It was really cool. I saw YouTube videos of that. But that would be kind of fun, but it'd be hard to translate to a stage. I think maybe the easiest one would have to be, and I just watched it last night. I didn't finish it. I had to go to bed. I was tired. Would be Road to El Dorado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that? That was a good time.
Elton John music.
It was... Yeah, it'd be like Aida, but Spanish. I was gonna say Mexican.
I didn't know that was...
I was supposed to do a Putnam thing.
I didn't know that was DreamWorks.
That was totally DreamWorks.
Because that was 2D instead of CG.
Well, it had some CG in there. Not good CG, but there was some CG.
90s CG.
That wasn't even 90s. I think that was early thousands. Can't remember. That was a long time ago. That movie's about 20 years old now. 10, 15, somewhere up in there.
Not many people talk about it.
I wrenched that and go, oh yeah, that happened, didn't it? And I said, yes, it did.
The second question, in your personal opinion, who do you think is smarter, or who would win in a chess match between Barfee and Cogsworth?
Oh goodness. I'm trying to imagine that.
The magic foot versus the grandfather clock.
I think the clock would win it. I think the clock would outsmart the nerd. I could see it. Because the nerd would get... something would happen. I could totally see the clock keeping his cool.
And finally, PRT on Broadway. Maybe someday. Who knows? You never know. If you were in charge of PRT and you could pick any show for PRT to do, forget budget, forget space,
Oh, goodness.
Any show, what would you want to see or be in?
It would be really fun, and if you said no budgets and the space and whatnot, I think if you could get the rights to it, Lord of the Rings, the musical. Now, hear me out, Mr. Giggles. The music to that, if you've not listened to it, do. I don't know if it's on Spotify or whatnot. I don't know if it is or not. But the music to that sounds just like the film score.
The score is pretty beautiful.
And it's made by the guy who did the score for Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
That was a shocker. But all of the music in it, it sounds so good. And then watching promo videos of it on YouTube, it's... Granted, it's a 3-act musical, so they pretty much did all 3 books. Each book is an act.
And I'm guessing it's 3 hours.
Something like that. They just took out the walking.
I mean,
mainly.
That's my biggest criticism.
And it's like, and we're in Mordor! Ready? Let's do it. But that would be one. But I think more of a realistic, if we could.
I mean, I like PRT doing Lord of the Rings.
That would be the ticket, let me tell you.
I can't wait I want to see a poster of that.
Well, it's a world tour now. They're starting a world tour of it. I hope it comes to the U.S., please God. I want to see that so badly. But I was going to say, the other shows I was thinking that would be good for a rep, they're both Jason Robert Brown shows, surprisingly. Would be, one is Parade.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there as one of my top. On my iPod, it's like, and here's all the Parade soundtrack. And your top 25. I listen to it all the time. Which, if you don't know that one briefly, it's about a factory owner who gets wrongfully accused of this little girl's murder. And it takes place in the South. I think it's like 150 years or something after the Civil War. And he's Jewish, by the way. So he's got he's white, too. So he's got all these things going against him. But that, if you've not listened to that musical, do. It's amazing. And then the other one by Jason Robert Brown is Songs for a New World, which that one has no plot. It's just kind of open. It's a song cycle, as we like to call it in the musical world. But all of the music in that is just gorgeous as well. But there's no plot, so that one's kind of easy to follow in a weird way.
I think it'd probably be the easiest show to get the rights to.
Yeah, and I think when I almost got to musically direct that / directed at USD until the student theater whatever group decided to change their charter. And then that was also the summer that I did my transitioning. So,
well, here's hoping. I am not in charge of PRT, so I am just a fan of it and just working there. But here's hoping PRT 2015, Lord of the Rings.
God, that would be amazing.
We
would have to do some major work to donor. Let me tell you.
Pack Phase 2, maybe something.
The Pack Phase 2. We'd need Pack Phase 5 with that show, with the turntable / rising sets /
costumes,
orcs that have
wizards.
Well, the main thing is the hobbits are like regular sized people. They're like normal people, but for the actual regular people, like Legolas and those characters, you have to put them on like stilts almost to make the height difference. And then, like, the orcs are on, like, these bouncing acrobatic stilts things, so they can, like, do flips and all these crazy things. And then there's a giant Cirque du Soleil number when you get to Lothlorien. All sorts of things happen in that musical. Gollum falling into the pit and then also coming back up and then falling into Mount Doom, which is the best moment ever of the show.
I'm surprised they don't just do what we did for Farquaad and just, for the hobbits, but...
Well, they have to do some fun dance numbers. Like the, what's the song called? I can't remember what's in there at the Prancing Pony. They have a bar song that they sing, which is a lot of fun.
Well, this obviously... I had fun doing this.
Yes!
I was expecting 15, 20 minutes, and we've been going for an hour, and I loved doing it. And
that was an hour? Goodness.
Something like that. It was 40, 50 minutes, something like that. But it went by quickly, and I am sorry if you are super busy and you are behind me.
Now I have to redo like 5 bias tapes.
Please still be my PRT buddy.
And I have to paint shoes.
But I cannot stress it enough. I owe you so much. Thank you, Devin.
Yes.
I love you to death.
How do you spell my name?
Devin.
There we go. Theater buddy.
I apologize for inserting the A. It's a vowel, at least.
It's a vowel.
Oh, I will leave you alone now, Devin. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was a lot of fun.
Have fun with the performance for Putnam tonight.
Yay.
If you haven't seen it yet, there'll be a performance on Saturday at 7:30 at Donor and a 2:00 matinee. And we'll have those Brandon performances when we get there.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Big stage.
Woo!
All right, and we're out of here.